Thank you for coming to our session. It's quite cool to see so many faces here. Some faces are familiar, some faces are not yet. But I will start with a quick intro, of course, as a normal tradition of these presentations. My name is Alisa. I'm a market development manager at SoftwareCentral. And today, together with me, is my colleague Ronnie. Ronnie is CEO of Robopack. I guess that's why you came here, to learn more about the product. Before we start, I would like to do a little warm-up. So as you know, financial institutions typically have this KYC processes, like know your customer. I would like to know our audience here today, so it will be just 3 questions from my side. So first of all, how many people here we have who are managing Intune-only environments? Okay, how many people do we have here who are managing hybrid environments? Okay, how many people we have here who are using already patching automation solutions? Not that many, wow. Okay, so that's the right session for you. Before we start with this topic, let me elaborate a bit on how are our companies connected. As you've heard, that I'm coming from SoftwareCentral, Ron is coming from Robopack, and I would like to be completely clear here. So these pictures visualize it all. Robopack is the company fully focusing on the product development. Whether SoftwareCentral is the company who is responsible for the entire go-to-market strategy, marketing, sales, customer onboarding, all the contractual parts. And this model has proven itself as working very successfully because we're doing a lot of releases every month. Yeah? So this solution is being constantly developed based on the feedback we receive from the industry. That's also an important thing. Click. Good. If we talk about, maybe I will change my direction and I will now talk to you guys. If we talk about the manual packaging as such, you know that there are different solutions helping you with this. These are my top 3 points why companies are still doing manual packaging and manual patching as well. And I also asked this question to ChatGPT. So click. Basically, it's almost the same. So basically, the concerns are standards and policies, customization requirements, and of course, the security concerns. I guess the third one is also one of the most important points here. What if I say that all this has been already solved several years ago, and that there's nowadays neither technological nor pricing concerns, so that it's already solved? Ronnie, click. So how we do it, we make robots work. Why should we let people work, let robots work? And how we do it, I will show you, and as I said, you're going to be impressed. Click. In terms of key functionalities of the product, this is the very first feature what we had in our tool. And again here, I'm always repeating this, but that's an important part. Ronnie is a packager with 25 years experience. And back then, when he started to develop this tool, he was working for quite a big MSP organization, and he was involved in a lot of migration and package conversion projects when it comes from migration from a SCCM environment to Intune environment. Yeah, and development has started in 2022, and if we all recall, so basically COVID and early post-COVID years, which forced a lot of companies to change their distribution system and more or less follow the new approach. So that's how this new first feature appeared. Ronnie tried to automate his processes, so you can now drop MSIX file in and get as an outcome Intune-supported packages. Yeah, that's quite of a key differentiator. We have our app repository containing 35,000 of packages. That's what we are saying here. In fact, this morning I've checked, the real number was 39 something thousands, and these are unique applications. These are not versions. So this is something interesting to explore. We're using, again, let's be transparent, we're using Winget and Microsoft Store repositories as a source. But you will be impressed when we will be demonstrating, because everything what I'm now talking, you will see very soon in the demo. Since we source these apps, we don't package them. We have to ensure that we can control what is inside the package. Yeah? So for this sake, we have enabled very powerful testing engine. So we pre-test every package before you can import this package to your Intune environment. So this step contains 26 steps. I could elaborate more, but I would like you to see this in the demo environment. But basically, if you deploy something through our tool, you can be 100% sure that this package has a high packaging standards.
Click.
Click. Very good. One thing is, of course, having all these apps in the repository. And second thing is the customization options. So in Robopack, you can customize a lot of things. So basically, you can apply or create settings per applications. You can customize the installer file, you can add or remove different parameters, you can add files, you can add PowerShell commands. So you have an option to completely customize the package before you deploy this to your Intune environment. Click. Good. Yeah, that's also an important tool, since some of you are still on a hybrid environment. It's either you're an MSP who are still managing both, or maybe you are representing the customer who is in the migration phase. So this is a tool inside the Robopack, which would allow you to source all the application data from SCCM server. Then you can pick up the destination format and do the bulk conversion and bulk import. So instead of doing the one-by-one repackaging and importing, you can almost automate this process with this little function. Multi-tenant support is a must for MSPs. During the demo, we're going to show you how it looks like in action. But if we talk about the patching scenarios, then you can set it once, add all your customer tenants, and more or less do the patching just from one view instead of having a necessity to log into, I don't know, different Intune platforms. Automated patching through wave deployment, that's a key thing as well. For this case, you also don't need to pre-download these packages. You can use them directly from our repository. You can set up this process following the best ITIL change management practice with all the test waves, production waves, and only you can control how many waves you can create. As Ronnie sometimes jokes that, because we once received the question, how many waves can you create? And he said that as many clicks as your mouse can do, yeah. So I remember that, and I like that. So it's up to you. What is your internal policy, internal processes, what they're asking you to do, so you can more or less enable them there. Click. Very good. We're gonna show you now the demo.
What's this? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, this is Robopack. You don't need to install anything. It's a 100% cloud-based solution. You sign up for a free trial, and then you get access to the interface here. And the only thing you need to do to get started is go to Settings, Tenants, and connect your tenant. And you need to be a global admin to do that. And then we register Robopack as an application. And that's it. You can get a permission sheet from me, and it will also state it itself when you try to connect it. So then you're going. And we have a lot of small functionality, and we have some big ones. The big ones are stated on the front page here, where you have convert package. I'm almost going to be sounding like a sales guy here, because it's almost a packaging robot. We're not there, but we are inching towards that. And then we have the catalog packages that Alisa told you about, 40,000. And finally, we have the patch engine. And if you don't mind, I'll just walk my way from left to right. And if there are any questions, please pop them up. I'd like to answer them if I can. Of course, I prepared some stuff I know already here. But the idea with the convert package is that anything you have yourself that is not in the repository, you can drag onto the Robopack interface. I have, I think it's a rather old, actually, Adobe Reader. This is just some MSI files, some transform files, patch files, and a little bat file. You can take anything also with subfolders in, just drag it up here. We'll try to figure out what's inside. And you can see we state that it's an MSI package. You have 3 options with this. You can get an IntuneWin. We can sequence it for you to MSIX and AME. If you're using AppAttach, you can also get it on a virtual hard disk, and we do the signing process for you. I will not go into this in this session. Please reach out afterwards if you want to see it. In here, we will try to read out whatever we can, set the install parameters, the uninstall parameters, the detection method. And you are probably all thinking, yeah, this is an MSI package, too easy. I agree. So I'll cancel this and do something more ordinary. This is a screenshot I just downloaded from the internet. I know nothing about it. I don't know the silent parameters. I don't know how to uninstall it. I don't know what the detection method is. So I'll drag it up here. Now this went really fast. You couldn't see it, but we excuse me, take a chunk of the file, put it to our backend, try to recognize what engine was used to build this setup file. In this case, it's an inno setup executable. That allows us to set the silent parameters automatically here. And we know nothing about the uninstall or the detection rule, so we'll try to figure that out. Clicking Create Package will upload it to our server, and we'll start up virtual machines in the background, and that's what you're seeing here. It's the robot at work. We do an actual installation. We look for it to be silent. We test when it's installed that it is behaving itself correctly on the Windows. As Alisa said, we have 26-step test procedure we're doing. Then we do the actual uninstallation. We find the detection method and everything. So depending on the size of the application, it will take between 20 seconds and 4 minutes. So when you see this green button, the small robots inside the Robopack are happy. And they have also documented for you what they've been doing. So in here, you get access to all the information about this. You can see we found the install command, the uninstall command, everything. You have access to the install log from our virtual environment, the uninstall log, and then we go package nerdy. We document every single file, every single registry key that this adds to your system. And you can get a really ugly looking PDF also. But this is all the information about the application. So we do this every time, and I know some of you are going to hate me for this because you like to do the documentation. We automate it. Okay, good. Robots are happy. You are happy. You've seen the documentation. Now you need to import it to Intune. You can do this to one or more tenants. I think almost all functions in Robopack are multi-tenant enabled. Here you can see we changed it to PowerShell App Deployment Toolkit. And we do that for all packages. You can upload your own template. You can use ours. There's a lot of options there. You can have assignment templates also. I won't do that here. Clicking Continue will use Graph to take hold of your tenant and upload the application to Intune. We're just going to wait for that. Now it's done, and you get this button showing Intune. Properties, and as you can see, it's just standard information, and we also extracted the icon for you automatically, so you don't need to go and search for Google for a logo or something. Set the install uninstall command, the detection method, and it's ready for your assignments. So it's just a way to get an unknown exe file repackaged, or not repackaged, but wrapped in PS80T, tested, documented, and added to Intune with just a few clicks. And we don't do magic. We can't do everything, but I think we do like 95% of everything we added to this system. Any questions about this? Nope? Good. Then there's instant apps, and this is like going to the vending machine and just getting a Coca-Cola or something. It's not meant for patching or anything, it's just, I need this package now. So it's an app library of, I think we said 40,000. Let me give you today's number. It's 39,360 now. So there's a lot of applications in here, and that's not it's not counting the versions, so it's real applications in here. Good. You want 7-zip, you want Citrix, you want Foxit, you want something, go in and search for it. If the vendor provides it, you can get all the former versions also. We don't store applications in Robopack. We fetch them on demand every time. So if a hacker gets into Robopack, it's like breaking into an empty house. There's nothing there. So we always, when you use it and upload it to your Intune, we'll do all the stuff automatically just in time before we put it into your Intune. Okay, click Analyze and Build, and the exact same process as you saw with the manual package will happen. We'll take it up to our backend, test it, document it, make sure it's working, and you have access to everything here. The green check mark was really fast, and you might wonder, okay, Fox is a pretty big application, but we already tested this version, so when the new version arrives, we'll do the check again. Same goes if you want to have it in Intune, you click there. If you want to download the application, you can do it here. So you get the complete package. Now, Foxit is not just Foxit, and Adobe Reader is not just Adobe Reader. You usually want to do something with it. Disable the end-user license agreement, tip of the day, automatic update, and all the stuff. So we have a little section for you here. This is a structured way to get all your settings for applications into Robopack. Just search for any app. Could be Adobe. And then you can do most of the things a normal packager can do. You can close applications if they're open. You can change the install command. You can change the uninstall command. You can add registry values, typically where you configure your product. You can add files. It needs to have an XML file. You have a license file. You have something. You have access to all the sections of the PSADT. So you can go in here and write your commands if you like. We will test your commands for syntax errors. We can't test for the stuff you're writing is actually happening the way you want. Then we needed to make a robocoder. But put all your settings in here, and the idea is you save it, and then you get this nice catalog of your settings for different applications, and we apply them every time you use the application. And for all future versions, your settings will be applied to the installations. I'm an old packager, as you can see, great-haired, and I made most of my income on doing exactly the same as I did last month. I took Adobe Reader, I saw, okay, what did I do last month? All the settings, I did the same again, and you don't need to do that anymore. Put it into Robopack, we'll apply it for you every time. So that's instance apps. If you just need an application. Questions? No? Yes, please. You could hear it.
Do not hesitate to be active, guys. Just address any questions that you might have in mind.
Did you touch dependencies?
Yeah, we inject dependencies automatically into the application. So we build them into the installer. You have an option to say we don't like that. So in custom app settings for any application, you can go in here and say, where is it? Down here. Disable dependencies. We'll not inject them for you. One word about that. The dependencies needs to be in Robopack, otherwise we can't do it. Yeah?
The PSApp deploy toolkit you're using, is
yeah.
that the out-of-the-box version, or can you customize it?
You can do anything you like. If you go to script templates here, we provide you with a template if you don't have any. You can also zip your own and upload it. So if you made any large changes or something, just upload it. We'll use that.
I'm I mean the banners and the logo.
Yeah, you can do that too. If you click on Edit, you have access to upload banner, and you can choose to show the welcome dialog. We'll automatically copy the service UI exe file into the installation also for you.
Yeah, so also support, you can upload your existing piece data script. We have an option there, or create a logic directly from this wizard as Ronnie is showing.
And we have a little extra Robopack feature here. Remove desktop shortcut. You can set that as a policy. Because we document all the packages, we know if there's a shortcut on the desktop, and we'll just remove it for you.
I have a question regarding the source, or media source.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if media source comes from the Winget, does it mean that I need to enable Winget client on my target computer?
No. We'll use Winget, so you don't have to. And you can also actually close Store for your users if you like. We'll grab the packages and we'll create the Win32 applications for you. We upload to, so you don't need Winget. We just use Winget as a source and then compile the package for you and use that.
Does it also mean that you include security checks for vendor source files?
Yeah, we do that. Let me just, now you're probably going to wonder why I can just go into Robopack every time we see an issue with any application. It could be customer uploading something. It could be one of our automated packages. It builds a list for us. Having problems with this mouse. It builds an issue list for us, so we have something to do at night also. Here we go. And let me just find something here. This is good. Winget. This was blocked. If you can see, it states that the cryptographic value specified in the manifest does not match. And you might wonder why I can just go into the issue list and find that in the top of the list. But it's actually because we update the repository every 30 minutes. And that's often. So sometimes when we go in and check, the vendor is uploading the manifest file and the installer, but the installer might not be up there yet, and then it doesn't match, and it's instantly blocked in Robopack. This will be auto-solved in 30 minutes later when all the files are up. So if there are any errors in the signature, certificates, manifest files, hash values, we'll instantly block the application. And sorry, I promised to repeat the question so you can get it on. I'll try to remember that.
Yeah, since the session is recorded, we've been asked to repeat the question, so they're also visible on the recording afterwards.
And the last part here is the patching. This is where you use the same 40,000 applications to set up your patching. And I think we're a little different here compared to most products, so I'll show you the process. We have a lot of different customers ranging from really small to very big, and the way they test and deploy are really different. You all know perhaps small companies saying, oh, I don't care, just put it to company portal, people can go and fetch it. Testing, it's not for me. Then you have the medical companies or the financial institutions, and they say, first to virtual machines, then to application owners, then to internal IT, then to blah, blah, blah. We deploy it to Europe first, then to Asia, then to the US. So we've got all these different kinds of ways of testing and deploying. We try to make a system that's flexible and can handle both types of customers. So you select a product you want to keep patched. A little technical stuff here about how Robopack should behave if a new version arrives before the old one is finished and stuff like that. And how many superseded versions do you want to keep in Intune? Just keep one, for example. And then you get into this pretty empty interface here. And now it's up to you. You need to know the state of the application at this moment. When we go into our wave design and add the first wave, the package will be technically tested by Robopack. We have documented it. We have applied your custom app settings. So the product is configured and ready to be uploaded to Intune. And the waves here are just, let me be honest, a smart marketing name for ring deployment or phase deployment or step deployment or whatever you want to call it. You can give it a nice name. I usually opt for deploying to virtual machines first. Deploy to VMs. And then you just add groups from Enter or Intune or whatever we call it today. So I have a group for virtual machines. Add that. And as you can see, this will just end up as an assignment in Intune. So it's just assignment-based, this wave deployment. So, good. You can set any options you like. The important part is down here. Minimum response rate is of all the content of one or more groups you add up here, how many should at least respond to this installation? So I would go for like, say 90, but you know your environment. If you have 2,000 computers laying in a cupboard somewhere waiting to be deployed around the world, they won't respond to your install request. So it's your knowledge you're putting in here. Minimum install success rate, I'll pop that up to 99%, for example. So we know that most of the installations are successful and there's room for a little hiccup. We add this to Intune, set the assignment, and then we just monitor Intune. When does it reach those numbers? If they're reached, we'll go to wave 2, and to wave 3, and to wave 4. You can do this any way you like. So, and you don't need to sit and do this every time you have a package. Once you did a nice setup for one, you can just go and copy the waves here. So, in this example, we'll pop it onto some virtual machines, wait for Intune to give us the numbers back. If that's successful, we'll pop it onto 2 groups here, Zoom application owners and Google Chrome application owners. It's a funny example, but finally we add it to company portal. And we will set supersedence when we reach the final wave. So no matter how many waves you have, when we reach the final one, we'll set the supersedence. Also, in the case you make it available, we'll set the auto-update switch on the package so the company portal can, or Intune can go and update the applications that were installed from company portal. Questions?
I would like you to ask to go back to this waves and to go to the settings, patching settings again. So an important part, yes, this one. So an important part, as soon as you have created your waves, you have kind of vision how you would like to deploy the solution, how you would like to do this rollout for the solution. If you have this first stick enabled, automatically upload and start new deployment. So if you have the stick enabled and Robopack, each time when there is a new Citrix workspace, for example, a version available on the Winget or Microsoft Store. So as soon as this version pops up in our repository, it will automatically pre-scan and push through your defined waves. So you don't need to do anything. What you need to do is just to set up notifications. We will also talk about that later, to get notified either about the new version or, for example, about any issues that might occur during the deployment process. But this will allow you to do the, I would say, the quickest patching that is possible, because we pre-scan those repositories every 30 minutes.
I would also like to take you a little behind the scenes here so you can see how we're working with stuff. You saw the custom app settings, that was your possibility to do something and configure the applications. We do work with the applications behind the scene, and we want to make use of the same process as you're using with the custom app settings, that we only need to do things once. When we find an issue with an application, we go into this interface and we'll start working with it. It's almost the same as custom app settings. We can just do a little more in here. And this is what normally a packager would do. So in Google's case here, we have expanded a little on the uninstall arguments to get a better uninstallation. We've added some success code. We are maturing the product a little, not much, but so it fits 99% of the customers. We disabled the automatic update. We removed the annoying promotional tab it opens. We do not allow it to ask, please let me be your default browser. And then we set the extension block list. So it's nothing much, but we just do the basic configuration. We also see problems with programs like MyPython, no, just Python, I think it's called, where it does not install correctly. We go in and fix that, put the right parameters in and all the technical stuff we need to do. So we add that here, and we can do a little more over here than you're allowed to do in custom app settings. But none of this is a secret. If I go to my recent packages, it's always transparent what we're doing. So if I view the install script here, let me know if this gets too technical, okay?
I think we have right audience today. So.
In here, it's just standard PS80T. We, of course, fill out the declarations about the product, and then we go to the install sections down here. If there had been any dependencies, we would have added them to pre-installation up here. We always tag when we do something. So this is Robopack at large, so you're not in doubt when we do something. We execute the MSI package here, and then we add the settings you just saw from overrides. I also have a custom app settings thing for test here. And that's it. It's in clear text. You can always see what we're doing in here. And of course, we also fill out the uninstallation information. I think that concludes Robopack, actually. We do a lot of other small stuff in here, like importing applications from SCCM and moving them into Intune with testing and everything.
Application twice to the same tenant?
Yeah, you can do that. Intune doesn't care about it. So if you look at my tenant, I have imported Google like 100 times in demos, and once a month I go in and clean up. So don't look too much in my tenant. It's a mess.
How do you make sure they supersede the correct one? Like I import Adobe 2 times, and which of them is...
We actually store the ID of the application, so we know it's Robopack. And then we set the supersedence when we arrive with the new one. And if you opt it to save, for example, 2 of the last versions, when number 3 comes, we delete the oldest of them automatically.
Do you support the so-called per-user installers? Like when you automate this package creation for the executable from the vendor website, it's really fun for you. Like you don't know all of the logic what's behind it, you automate it, the package itself. But how do you detect, or do you detect if it's a per-user installation?
Yeah, we do that. Yeah, and you can also choose, depending on what the vendor provides, choose between a machine scope and a user scope installation.
Because there's still some this kind of installers per user.
Yeah. Also, if the vendor states in the manifest this is a machine scope installation, and we can see it's one of our tests, we can see it's a user scope installation, we'll give you a warning. So, yeah, but we are kind of package nerds, so a lot of the stuff that we do, you don't actually see. That's what's happening in the virtual machines and all our test procedures. You will see the result of it, especially if something goes wrong. One thing to note is that we try to help people also with their manual packages or any package. If you have a problem with a package, say it's this one, use the package feedback here. Just say, hey, Ronnie.
Yeah, I will comment instead of typing, of course you can go the old-fashioned way and just send email to Robopack, support@robopack.com, but in this case, you don't need to introduce yourself, you just need to say, hi guys, please check, and guys will be able, product team will be able to jump in, check your logs and assist you as soon as possible.
All the developers plus me, right there. We'll get an email and our phones will go off and we'll get a link directly into your package so we can go in, see what are you working on, we can analyze it and try to help you out. So it's an easy way to just get help for this particular package. We don't do consultancy, I have to say, we're a software company, but we try to help you as far as we can.
Let's also explore these notification settings. As you see, there are a lot of activities happening in Robopack. So instead of spamming you with all the different activities or actions, you can configure yourself when do you want to be notified and on which activities. And you, of course, like for us, it's the most important is the new application, maybe the deployment error as well, then it's the notification when something is wrong with the deployment. But here you can decide, yeah, it's either you can receive this notification on your email, or what is more beneficial is to set up the Teams channel and push all notifications directly there to your application management team, for example. Then all the team will be informed and will be able to take the reactive actions if there is a necessity.
And you can set up as many flows as you like. So if different people need different information, it could be that somebody just needs to be informed of new app versions, then you can do a special flow for those. So you decide how much you want to be disturbed.
Ronnie, maybe also show about the languages, because that was also one of the most frequent questions today.
Yeah.
Or which languages do we support? How do we handle that?
We don't, the vendors do. You know, there are different states. Some provide an installer for a specific language. If they do that, we get it here. You can choose your language. You can also do that in patching and say, I only want to patch the Danish version or the I don't know, American version or whatever you need. And some programs set the language inside the programs. Then it's a setting in custom app setting you need to do. But if the provider has different options for the installer, you can set it here. Mm-hmm.
Very specific. This Winget is an application from your list of 40,000 applications.
Yeah, it is.
But this is a licensed product. How do you handle the licensing?
You do that. We don't. Yeah, because you add your license to custom app settings.
Oh, you can.
So, yeah, I mean, if you really boil packaging down, there are two things you can set in the end, and that's registry keys and files. Services, blah, 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 is all just reflected in registry. So you can figure out, okay, where do I put the license information, add it to your custom app settings, and we'll apply it every time.
What happens? What happens if we add manual dependencies for a specific application in Intune? Does it keep it with the new version?
Yeah, we do. If we handle it, 5 minutes, thank you. We inject it automatically and we take the newest one. And when there's a new release of the product we are patching, we look for the dependency to see if that has changed also and take the latest version of it.
I mean, if in Robopack you add your dependencies within the package, but then you upload it into Intune, and within Intune you add some list sequence of dependencies, so that you install them one by one. Does it like replace the dependencies for the newly uploaded package?
No, we actually do it a little more simple or basic. You can say we put it into the PS80T and install it there. So it's not listed as a dependency in Intune. It's inside the application. I hope that answered the question. Okay.
Yeah, we had some questions also from this side.
Conflicts? No, but it's not a problem really. We see that much any longer. I think Windows has become really good at taking DLLs that were conflicting and isolating those automatically. So it's nothing we test for ourselves. Please.
Is it possible to install add-ons like KeyPass or Notepad++? You can also select add-ons to install directly?
No. No.
Can you add conditions on which machines to install certain software? For example, the Adobe Reader.
Yeah.
In our organization, it is installed to all computers. If people install a Creator Suite from Adobe and they select the Adobe Acrobat Professional, the reader will be removed.
Mm-hmm.
It will no longer be pushed or advertised to that machine. Is such a construction possible?
I promised to not talk about roadmap today, but yes, it's not possible. That was a good answer, but it will be very soon. We're building that in. We are actually in the designing phase because we have seen that other products, for example, create two different packages. One for the global update you want to deploy to all computers. That's just the update. Then you have a separate package for new installations. And to be honest, I don't really like that. I don't like double applications in my Intune. If I can avoid it, I'm not sure we can, but we'll try to. The only thing is, it would be nice just deploying the application to all devices, say, but only install if Adobe Reader is already there. That's the thing I expect you want. We don't have it yet, but we're working on it. Okay, you got me into the roadmap.
We had a question
Sorry.
from the last row, the last one. Yeah.
The waves, can they be scheduled? And if one finishes, can it automatically move on to the next wave?
Yeah, it does that. You cannot really schedule it. You can, let me just grab something here. I hope there's some waves in here. Now mine is test here, so yeah. You can not schedule it saying, I want this to happen on the 30th of something, but you can go in and say, well, even if it's a success, I want to have a delay of, for example, 3 days, because I need to go and look at it, or the application owners need to look at it. And then it will move on. You can also do it the opposite way, where you say, well, if this wave isn't completed within 2 days, then it's a failure, and we'll stop it. So.
But we are planning to enable the scheduler. So I know that a lot of companies, they have a very strict deployment windows when they can deploy the production waves.
Yeah.
So the only reason why this is not there yet, it breaks our automated patching logic, because then you have to go and change the data all the time. So yeah, that's
but
also
we're
what
looking
we are
at
processing.
just like when you schedule a recurrence in your calendar, looking at that type, say, okay, only on Tuesdays at 17 local time. So we just need to figure out the right way to do it. But if you have something you would want to see, let us know. We'll try to build it. Are we over time now?
Okay, we have 1 minute, then I'll quickly also, don't move yet. If you go to what's new section, here we're documenting, we started to do it in April, we're documenting everything that we are releasing to Robopack. I also highly advise you to go to our Robopack website, because there is our roadmap, and we are kind of publicly sharing information what are our plans for future as well. At the moment we have there still the second half of 2024. I guess in December we will add the new roadmap for the next year, and I guess I can also announce that at the moment we are working for adding macOS support, so in the same way as we do it for Windows packages at the moment, so just follow and see where it will bring us. Last slide, again, these are top 3 questions. I know that we are a bit on time, so basically I have to mention this as well, it's quite important. So can I patch my SCCM environment in the same way as we have shown here, not directly through Robopack, because Robopack is like Intune only app. However, we have another product, SoftwareCentral Endpoint Manager, and there you can add the Robopack as a module and do all these magic things directly through it to SCCM environment. Second one, how can I package apps that I don't find in your repository? We also have this packaging tool, so Smart Package Studio. For advanced package creation, you can come to our booth and get more information. And about the pricing, I already mentioned to some of you, the price is very competitive, and the price might also surprise you in a positive way. So if you need, if you're interested to get a quote, come to our booth. I will be able to calculate it right now.